Hey guys, gonna do another knife review here. As you can see, this is the Spyderco Sage 3. This is the third installment in the Sage series, which, sort of pays tribute to all these knife designers who contributed something to the knife making community. As far as I can tell, it's just locks. The first one being the uh, Michael Walker liner lock, the second one, the Sage 2, being the frame lock or the Reeve integral lock, and this third one being the Blackie Collins bolt action lock, which I think is a very cool lock, and I'll get more into that as the review goes on. But I'm going to start off giving you guys some specs on this knife. It is 3.5 ounces, which definitely feels pretty heavy in the hand. As far as its size, definitely a very dense knife. Overall, I don't know why I closed that, I need to open this again. It is 7.25 inches long, which is plenty big and small enough at the same time. I think this is a really good size knife. The handle is 4.3 inches long, which gives you plenty of room to choke up or choke back on it. So it's a really, really well sized handle, I would say. The blade is 3 inches overall, which I know a lot of states have a 3-inch blade limit. Offhand, I know Rhode Island does. Taking that trip down there in just a couple days. Going to be bringing this. This is perfectly fine for carrying in the pocket there. Cutting edge, as you can see, does not start where the handle ends, so it's always going to be a little bit shorter. This one is a 2 3/4 of an inch long cutting edge. Sorry, this blade is kind of dirty. I gotta figure out a way to clean those little scuffs there. I don't know if that's just little oil stains from hands or whatever, or some sort of adhesive, who knows. Yep, so it's an S30V blade. Let's see, yeah, CPM S30V, if that'll focus. You'll see that. Focus. There you go. S30V. Yeah, so it is Torx construction, as you can see. All there, and even the pivot. I believe everything is the same size on this, and I think that's I want to say a T6. I had to adjust this today just a little bit. It is steel lined, which makes for the weight on this to be a little bit greater than say the Spyderco Manix 2. Yeah, the G10 liners are milled out on the inside to sort of allow the steel liners to be, or did I say G10 liners? Anyway, the steel liners are able to be recessed into the handle, which makes for a nice looking slimmer knife. Going on the back, there's a G10 back spacer that runs the length of the knife, because this bolt action lock does not need anything up here. When you get this right out of factory, it looks almost like one solid piece of G10. As you use it, sort of dirt, sort of, I don't know, gunk gets in the small, tiny little cracks, and it's more noticeable. But when you get this, I swear it looked like one piece of G10. I mean, I knew it wasn't, but if I didn't know that, it could have fooled me. Yeah. The lock, anyway, so this is the big feature on this knife, other than the fact that it's a very bright blue G10, which I'll get into later. But this lock, the bolt action lock, is very cool. It operates sort of like the Axis lock and the Spyderco ball bearing lock, and that's just as to say that you pull it back to sort of unlock it. This one, there's a bolt that actually just goes right into the tang pin. Sort of, I mean, like, imagine a bolt action rifle. It pushes the bullet forward in the rifle, and I believe the Axis lock is sort of a bar that just goes into it. I could be wrong, I've never had an Axis lock knife. And the ball bearing lock is just a ball that fits into the tang. But on this knife, it's just a nice bolt action, which honestly works really well. It's never failed on me. I haven't really hard used this knife. I've kind of brought it out into the woods once or twice, but nothing abusive on this. And it does get blade play if you try to get it really ridiculously smooth, but as of right now, this has no blade play. And you saw that even just gravity kind of sort of, I mean, I had to give it a little flick there, but if you hold it right, you can notice that it will just swing down because of how smooth it is. I mean, this is a very, very smooth knife. It is pretty much centered as of right now. And I adjusted this just a little bit today. I've had this since around Christmas time. I got this after Christmas off of eBay for a pretty good price, I think. And honestly, it's not like blade play to the point where it's like you hear clicking when you move it. It's just a hair of a little bit, and it's easily adjustable. And it can stay a very smooth knife. As you can see, it swings down. It's kind of hard to demonstrate it from behind a tripod. Let's see if I can get that again. Yeah, just like that, you know, almost no effort. And I mean, this thing is buttery smooth. Like, there's just no scraping at all. Like, some knives feel like kind of like little tiny stops along the way, but this one is just one nice, almost feels like glass, just gliding in and out. It's nice. And it's a very quiet opening knife. I mean, all you really hear when you're disengaging it too is that little click of the bolt action lock, which I actually really like that sound. It's kind of a unique sound, sort of a mechanical clicking, which is really neat if you like that thing, which I do. Yeah, so you can adjust it very well, like I said, you know, no blade play, which I think this is made very well. This is made in Taichung, Taiwan. Trying to, whoops, wrong side. Yep, as you can see there, Taichung, Taiwan. But this blade, the Spearpoint S30V, CPM S30V blade, is made in USA and sent over to the factory in Taiwan. Excuse me. So I thought that was kind of neat. I mean, it's not a totally overseas produced knife. It's more or less just assembled over there, I think. Not sure where the G10 handles are from or any of the other stuff, but the blade is definitely from America. You know, Spyderco says that in the little... Excuse me, I need to keep some water around or something. They say that in the little information packet you get with this, which I don't have offhand right now. It's somewhere around here. Yeah, but you know, nice flat ground blade, very nice for EDC tasks, slicing, food prep, all that stuff. The S30V does take a little bit to sharpen. I can't quite get this razor sharp like my Manix 2, but I think that's just, this is a softer steel, this is a harder steel. I probably just haven't spent enough time on the edge. It did come very sharp. I've just used it quite a bit, like to the point where it's dulled a little bit. I mean, it'll still slice paper very well. I mean, keep in mind, this is like a 6-month-old edge, you know, of use. I mean, I carried this for quite a bit, and I've only barely sharpened it as far as, you know, relatively for the S30V, but it still slices paper very well. So I gotta hold this a little bit better. Yeah, right there. Yeah. Point is, it's still, they do a good job on the steel, you know, like most S30Vs from Spyderco. Anyway, the clip is the deep carry wire clip. When you're in the pocket, you know, only about that much is noticeable, and that's plenty to get, you know, kind of slip your thumb into the pocket and pull it out and go right into opening it. So they did a good job with the position of the pocket clip, in my opinion. The only thing that I would have liked is maybe a little bit tighter of a pocket clip. I mean, this is kind of, it's not like too loose, but it does make it so this kind of rubs up and down a little bit, and that's going to develop a little bit of wear on the G10, which, you know, not a big deal. You're not like grabbing there with your hand or anything, but just a little thing. But let's see if I can see the phosphorus bronze bushings in there, washers. Let's see. Nah, you can't really see it with this camera. It doesn't really pick it up very well. You can tell there's gaps there and see a little hint of the color, but yep, phosphorus bronze bushings. And I think that's what makes this knife very smooth. Sorry I didn't touch upon that when I was talking about how smooth this knife is, but yeah. And what's nice about this knife is your fingers, if you really want, your fingers will never have to come in the way of the blade. I mean, you can open it and close it just using the lock, which is nice. When I was adjusting this earlier, I just went to I wanted to fool around with it to see what it would be like if I loosened it up a little bit more, and you know, it got to the point where when you pull this lock back, it would just swing and almost just go all the way open with no wrist action, and if you held it at a slight angle when it was open, this would just swing down closed. It was kind of cool. If there was no blade play, that'd be one way to carry this and have a very fast opening knife. Yep, so the traction on the Blue G10 is, it's medium, I'd say. I mean, it's not overly grippy, but it's definitely, you know, it gives you something to keep your hand feeling like it's secure. And while we're talking about grip, the jimping on the back is pretty functional on this knife. It's pretty sharp and locks your thumb in place, and same as the one on the choil. Not that, you know, the choil really needs that much jimping. I think just by design it holds your finger in pretty well, and was kind of nice just as far as aesthetics go. You got that little like one curve into the next going on. I thought that was always cool, the way I mean, I keep bringing this in for comparison, but they kind of did that on the Manix 2 as well, where it just kind of flows more so on this one, so you can kind of get a nice, I don't know, it just kind of fits in the hand, kind of cool. Yeah. So this one, as far as the Sage series goes, is a little bit bigger than the other ones that I've heard that, and I've kind of read the specs. I think that's just by the design of the lock. They needed more length for that, but I mean, it makes for a really well fitting knife. You know, this is perfect for my hand. I've probably got a medium-sized hand. Yeah, so that's really the knife in a nutshell. I definitely recommend this if you're looking for a G10 knife with some S30V, and you kind of want something that's a little bit more unique, you know, as far as the lock goes. You got a wire clip, and just a nice bright light blue knife. It's really cool. So yeah, I definitely recommend this over, I don't know, I'd prefer this over the carbon fiber. I can't really say for the titanium. I mean, I've handled the carbon fiber one before, but I've never handled the titanium one. That might actually be the next knife I look into. That thing looks nice, and I don't really have any frame locks, and I think that'd be a cool addition to my knife collection. Yeah, so I got this for about $105 off of eBay right after Christmas. I think they go around for probably within a couple dollars of that price point. You find them a little bit over, a little bit under that if you look on eBay. If you look on other sites like Amazon, it's going to be a little bit more expensive. Amazon tends to either be, it's never like cheaper than if you were to go on eBay, really, as far as knives go, in my experience. Sometimes private listers will list something a little bit cheaper, but that's pretty rare. Anyway, I'm just going to compare this and give you guys a little size comparison with two other Spyderco knives. The Manix 2, which obviously I was talking about earlier, because I mean, really these are almost similar knives. I mean, they got the same function, like operation of a lock, finger choils, same color, pocket clip, and yeah. I can't remember the specs of the Manix 2's blade, but I mean, it looks like you get a little bit more in the Manix 2, and I mean, this is full US made, and this is actually cheaper. I actually much prefer this over this, just because, I mean, this is lighter. It almost feels like you get a better grip on it just because of the way the handle's designed, and it's actually cheaper as far as price goes. And the clip doesn't, I mean, it wiggles probably just about the same, but you don't notice the little clicking noise since it's FRCP. Yeah, so this one is bigger than the Manix 2, or the Manix 2 is bigger than the Sage 3, but to give you guys an idea of what's smaller than that is if you guys have an Urban. The Urban is smaller than the Sage 3. I mean, these are all wire clip knives. I actually kind of like the clip on this one better than that. Yeah, so these are two overseas produced knives from Spyderco. As far as, well, assembly, I'm assuming that the handles and everything else is made overseas, or else they would have said this is like a US knife assembled in Taiwan. not just the blade is made in America. But yeah, so those are just some other options, a little size comparison. S30V, CTS BD1, VG10. As far as recommendations go, like if I had to rank it from least recommended to highest recommended, for an EDC knife, I would go highest recommended Manix 2, Sage 3, and then the Spyderco Urban. But that, again, depends on where you live as far as knife laws, because you might want, if you can have a bigger knife, go for it, you know, if that's really what you want. But some places this is all you can get due to locking restrictions or size restrictions, but yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna wrap this video up. It's starting to go long, and I feel like I might start talking in circles soon. So yeah, overall, I'd recommend it. Not my favorite knife, but definitely still really love this knife. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. Appreciate if you made it all the way through the video. I know it was long. I really need to start doing a little, in case you don't want to watch this knife is awesome, or this knife is crap in the beginning of the videos, but yeah. So thank you guys for watching. Stay tuned for more videos. Thanks.